In this video, we are going to learn about the characteristics of a planet in our solar system. As we begin, we have to answer this question first. What is a planet? The simple answer, a planet is a celestial body that is in orbit around the sun. But actually, the most recent definition of a planet was adopted by the International Astronomical Union in 2006 and says the complainant must do three things. First, it must orbit a star in our cosmic neighborhood, which is the sun. Second, it must be big enough to have enough gravity to force it into the spherical shape. And third, it must be big enough that its gravity is cleared away from any other objects or similar size near its orbit around the sun. The planets is divided into two categories based on the composition. The first one is the terrestrial planet, and the second one is the Jovian planet. Terrestrial planets including Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. They are primarily made of rocky materials. Their structures are solid and they don't have a system. They have a very few or no moons and they are relatively small. On the other hand, the Jovian planet is the gas giant Jupiter and Saturn and ice giant Uranus and Neptune. The gas giants are predominantly made of helium and hydrogen, and the ice giant also contains rotten ice and liquid mixtures of water, methane, and ammonia. And now, let us discuss the characteristics and information of the planet Mercury. And now, let us discuss the characteristics and information of the planet Mercury. Mercury is the smallest planet in our solar system. It is the closest planet to the Sun in a distance of about 58 million kilometers. It has no rings around Mercury and has no moons. Mercury makes a complete orbit around the Sun in just 88 Earth days. It has a very thin atmosphere, so some temperature can reach up to 430 degrees Celsius at day and drop to 180 degrees Celsius at night. Next is Venus. Venus is the second closest planet to the Sun, as its distance of about 108 million kilometers. One day on Venus lasts 243 birthdays. Venus is the hardest planet in our solar system. It is the brightest of all planets in the night sky. Venus is also called Earth twins. The reason for that is they are very similar in size and they are made of similar rocks. Also, it is called the morning and the evening stars, as it appears in the eastern sky before sunrise and in the western sky after sunset. The planet's surface temperature is about 465 degrees Celsius and it has no moons and no rings. The third planet in our solar system is Earth. Earth planet is the only planet in our solar system that has a water, food, and oxygen. So it means it can support life. Earth makes a complete orbit around the Sun, and that is about 365 days. In the days on the Earth, that is equivalent to 24 hours. Earth is the third closest planet to the Sun at a distance of about 150 million kilometers. Earth has no rings, but it has one moon, and that moon orbits the Earth like Earth orbits the Sun. And the Earth's atmosphere is about 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and 1% of other ingredients. So the next is Mars. Mars is known as the red planet because iron minerals in the Martian soil oxidize or rust, causing the soil and the atmospheres to look red. Mars makes a complete orbit around the Sun at about 687 Earth days. So 1 day on Mars, that takes a little above 24 hours. So Mars is the planet to design the distance of 228 million kilometers Also, Mars has no rings, but it has two moons named Phobos and Deimos. The next is Jupiter. Jupiter is the fifth planet and the largest planet in our solar system. It is about having a distance of 778 million kilometers. Jupiter rotates once about every 10 hours but takes about 12 Earth years to complete one orbit of the Sun. Jupiter has more than 75 moons. In the year 1979, the Voyager's missions discovers Jupiter's faint ring system, and all four giant planets in our solar system have ring system. So Jupiter's atmosphere that is made of mostly of hydrogen and helium. The next is Saturn. Saturn is the yellowish planet in our solar system. It is the second largest planet next from Jupiter. Saturn is the sixth planet from the Sun in the distance of about 1.4 billion kilometers. It rotates once about every 10.7 hours, but it takes about 29 Earth days to complete one orbit of the Sun. Saturn has the most spectacular ring system with 7 rings and several gaps and divisions between them. Saturn has 82 moons in its atmosphere is made up mostly of hydrogen and helium. The next is Uranus. Uranus is about 4 times wider than Earth. It is the third largest and very cold planet in our solar system. Uranus is the seventh planet to the Sun at a distance of about 2.9 million kilometers. It rotates once about every 17 hours that takes about 84 earthly years to complete one orbit of the Sun. Uranus has 27 moons and it has 13 known rings. The inner rings are narrow and dark, and the outer rings are brightly colored. Uranus has an atmosphere made mostly of molecular hydrogen and atomic helium with a small amount of methane. The last planet in our solar system is Neptune. It is the 8th planet and the 4th largest and a very cold gaseous planet in our solar system. The distance of Neptune from the Sun is about 45 billion kilometers. It rotates one about every 16 hours, but it takes about 165 Earth years to complete one orbit of the Sun. Neptune has 14 known moons, and its atmosphere is made up of mostly molecular hydrogen